So today, the jury in LA found both Meta and YouTube liable for negligent design of the platforms. We're not even talking about content here. We're talking about the platform design, because the platform design is designed to be addictive. It's designed to keep you there. And so the company's products,
The algorithm.
Meta and YouTube, the algorithm, it's a substantial factor in the mental health harm suffered by the plaintiff, a 20-year-old woman identified in court as Kaylee. Kaylee gets $3 million in compensation, most of that from Meta, and both companies did act. Yes, it's now solidified in the court system. They acted with malice or highly egregious context. So this goes up. This is insane. Again, there's like 1,600 more of these, right? This is only the beginning, but this was the bellwether. This is the one that's going to set the legal precedent for all the rest to follow.
Welcome to the Soapbox Sessions. Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? It's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too. So now, let's hear from your hosts, Derek Ross and Heather Larson, who are working to grow Nostr one vibe at a time.
All right, Derek Ross, we're back again. Soapbox Sessions. Did you know this is our 30th episode, by the way? 30 times.
30! We've been doing this for a while. Many months.
When did we start this? We have important things to talk about today.
September 1st-ish, something around there.
When we started? I don't remember.
Well,
it's a blur,
I don't know when we
man.
started it. 30 weeks ago. There you go. Someone do the math. Hey Claude.
Have we taken a week off?
How many days ago was 30 days ago? What day of the week was that?
I think we did it weekly, but somehow finagled some off time around Christmas. I don't remember what we did. Completely like a goldfish.
We had a recap. No, we recorded like 3 episodes one week, so we could have a Christmas break. I remember
like
that.
Everything's going by so fast, and the world changes about a year in a month. Like, just because the world is kind of crazy lately. It needed to be said.
Well,
I'm telling
we're hyper connected. We are constantly having new information streamed to us every day.
Or force-fed is the way.
Going a mile a minute. Force-fed, streamed and force-fed into our eyeballs by the algorithms.
Yeah, and I've been at war with my notifications, right? This will come up later with some of the things that we're talking about in the podcast in a bit. But I've been at war with notifications and being force-fed information, and Twitter force feeds me information it thinks I like based on my gender or some demographic information it has on me. And I think life is better without all these notifications. I just don't feel like I have control, over my online life anymore. And Derek, I came across this interesting podcast from Taylor Lorenz about how the collective digital archive of the internet, she says, is being burned down. And here's how this pertains to Nostr here. Because are you following me? The big tech companies that we rail against, they have the power, to have content taken down, right? If the government says, hey, you need to take this down, YouTube just steps into line, right? And just says, okay, cool, we're going to delete it. And it's not like they're deleting 3 videos. Like, she's talking about them delivering hundreds or deleting hundreds of videos from YouTube. And it's insane. Like, if you really get into her latest podcast from User Mag, here's the problem. First of all, remember, this is how Divine was born, right? The Divine videos were in the Internet Archive. And you will remember the amount more than I will, because Rabble went and found, how many, was it tens of thousands? Was it 100,000? How many Vine videos from a decade ago
were 300,000.
It was a lot.
300,000, I believe.
And look at, just for no other reason, okay, not about democracy or facts or anything, Divine videos being able to be taken out of the archive is how Divine, the new app coming, this is how Divine was born, right? And it just brings people joy, right? It's not even it's not like we're trying to take archives of historical books out of the Internet Archive. But Nostr kind of fixes this whole thing. The government, the U.S. government or any government, can't ask for archives to be deleted. They can, but it's probably not going to work on Nostr, given the decentralized, guts of Nostr that it's built on. And by the way, if we've never said this before, Nostr's not going to be responsible to shareholders ever, right? So this company with shareholders can't just be like, hey, you got to go delete, the government, that's too big to fail. You can't just go in and delete everything, right? Like we just don't answer to a company because Nostr's not a company. So by the way, this is why I actually weight this, because Taylor Lorenz is one of the journalists, if you didn't know. Elon banned her off of Twitter, and then she had to delete a slew of posts to get reinstated on there. And it was because she had posted things that were critical of Elon in the early days of Elon owning Twitter. So this is how much control big tech has over the internet. And the government can influence big tech. And then big tech can influence the government. And that's how shit works in this country. And that's not okay, Derek. That's why we have Nostr.
Well, sure. So these centralized platforms are single points of failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have one subpoena, one policy change, one regime change. CEO doesn't like something, and boom, the record can be altered or disappear. But as you said, Nostr can fix this, right? Because we have events that are cryptographically signed. So that sounds nerdy, but all that means is they can't be forged. So you can't
information
change
secure
what somebody says, right? You can't change it. And it's essentially hard to erase because the data is replicated all around the world to thousands of different relays. And it makes it virtually impossible to get rid of content that is replicated all around the world. So Nostr really does fix the centralized platform issue where the internet is being altered or the internet is being deleted systemically. Like we can actually fix that problem with Nostr.
There's a little bit of safety there. And it's funny, the other day, our coworkers, and I, we sat down and kind of filmed a conversation. It was me and MK and Morgan. And the more we were talking about censorship online, the more I started to remember things that happened to me over the years. And it's more than just Instagram memorializing me, right? And way back. And it's I can think back to things that happened to me 20 or more years ago, where maybe the government didn't like something I said, which is a whole other rabbit hole we don't need to go down. But controlling speech online dates way back now. And it's at some point, I feel like we just started to take it, for lack of a better term. We just started to sit and take this. It just became part of life. Giving your ID to get online is something people just now do.
So
it's ridiculous.
What if we have a shift here in thought process? We talk about the dark web in a evil and mysterious mindset, right? You hear dark web and you're like, oh, it's bad, right? That's how the media portrays it. And then, so that means the light web is the good web. That means what we use now, what you're listening to us on right now is the good web, and the bad web is the dark web. Well, I think that framing is wrong. It eventually turns into the open and private web versus the censored and controlled web. And guess which one is which? The bad web is the actual open and uncensored web, and the light and the good web, well, it's actually the bad web. It's the KYC'd web. It's the controlled web. It's the censored web. I think that we will deviate in these two different platforms, these two different directions. The internet is segregating itself right now.
Pretty much. But it seems upside down, but it's not. It's very much I feel bad using Twitter. Twitter's an amazing tool, right? It helps me connect to people, oddly enough, in our industry, which is why I'm still there. I don't want to be there, but it has a network effect that Nostr does not yet have. But Twitter lately has been force-feeding me notifications that I do not want about things that I'm not interested in. And the only thing I can guess is that it's just choosing to do this because of the demographic information it has on me. By the way, I've verified on Twitter because there's so little you can do on Twitter to be effective without paying Elon $3 or $8 a month, whatever it is I pay. I think it's $5 or something. It's stupid, right? There's a tiered pricing structure to use Twitter and be seen, right? That's the first problem with it. And then the second problem is the value I get from it is limited, because most of the time it's sending me push notifications about, let's see, the other day I got a dead corn star notification. I don't need to know about those type of people when they die. I'm not interested in that. I just used a word in a different way so we don't get censored on YouTube, by the way. So I know why you look confused. But yeah, a dead corn star rhymes with corn.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
You really confused me for a second. And I'm thinking, children of the corn farm. Like, I'm thinking, what the hell is she talking about?
I just rhymed some
Oh my,
words,
well,
okay? The
Heather,
slow part
this
of the
is
audience is
you
going to catch up.
literally demonstrated the
Censorship.
exact problem.
Censorship
You had
culture.
to self-censor and talk
Because
about
I'm
something
afraid.
else so we don't get docked in points.
I
That
don't
is
want to get a strike on YouTube because
absolutely wild.
I am the person who handles our freaking YouTube. I don't want that problem, right? So we start to self-censor, and we actually put a video of MK talking about this on our Soapbox Technology Twitter. If you want to go look at it, it's there. And so that was one notification that I got that was really stupid, that like, I don't care about those type of people. This is a no-name person. I am too old and sober for this crap. I don't care. The other thing is it force-fed me because I'm a woman, Derek. I'm a woman, so all I care about is
Really?
reality TV. Right? The female demographic, of course, just
That's
froths
all you
at the
care
mouth.
about is reality TV. That's
Right.
news to me.
Right. So, well, some women do, but not this woman. I do not watch reality TV. I am aware that The Bachelorette exists, but I don't care about it. But I was force-fed by Twitter multiple notifications about the Bachelorette controversy the other day. And it was like it's trying to pull me in. It's trying to play me like, oh, you're a woman, you must care about Bachelorette drama. No, I don't. I actually care about real life and the fact that gas here is $4.79. That's the kind of stuff I care about. What are we doing about
trying to
that?
spoon feed you content, right? Because you
Yeah,
weren't able to choose your own algorithm. You weren't able to be your own algorithm. You had to
irritating.
be spoon-fed content from the top.
I'm insulted that it thinks that I care about that crap. I care about the real world, which is kind of why I work here, because I can make a difference in the real world by making technology that fixes all of these problems, right? What we're doing can fix the fact that the archive's being deleted, that people are being force-fed content that they don't care about, and worse, people are getting fed content that is just incendiary and inflammatory, right? That's how Twitter wants to suck you in, because this particular Bachelorette controversy was about a woman who was being violent with her family. And that's why it's such a controversy. I'm supposed to care about that? No, I was a social worker. I saw this stuff in real life. I don't care. I do not want to see society fall to this extent. You know, like I'm a true Bitcoiner, right? Family values. Okay, like let's amplify what's good in society. There are a lot of things that are good in society, and I know that like people probably log into Nostr and see a bunch of nerds being nerdy. But the point of this is that people are building on Nostr, and people are giving you back the power to own your online experience, be creative, make friends, and actually be social again, rather than getting online to be force-fed things that are essentially a doom scroll. Like, oh, look at this woman throwing a chair at her husband and kid or whatever. And it's like,
we
no,
know why
I
they
see
do that, though, Heather. We've talked about this before. They
It
do
works
it
in some
because
sick
if
way.
you are enraged and you are engaged, right?
Right.
Like, it keeps you coming back to the
We gotta
application.
flip
And they
we
do
gotta
this
use Nostr
entirely
to flip that.
for advertisers, entirely to keep you coming back and viewing ads and clicking on ads and making them money. It's literally sickening. Yet everybody knows that this happens and they continue to do it.
They do it anyway, you know, but you can get on Nostr where there's no ads. And where there's no ads, there's no need to get eyeballs to see the ads. We're just on Nostr not getting push notifications about people throwing chairs at their family. Like, what a different life it is. You know, that it's better. And so, like, I think that brings us to our next subject, Eric, which is to talk about insane and inflammatory, the meta lawsuits. Oh my God.
If only there was a company I could sue for.
Well, you can't get in line behind the other 1,600 people. So I found this story, and it is just, it's snowballing, Derek. I put this in our notes yesterday, but there's an update today. But yesterday's story, we'll just start with that. A New Mexico jury found Meta liable for endangering children on its platforms. Okay, so we're talking about $375 million there in civil penalties. This is how tired the public is of this crap. The jury deliberated for less than a day. It's the first social media case, this is as of Tuesday, March 25th, to reach a verdict, and then 1,600 more lawsuits to come. So yeah, the Meta and YouTube designing addictive platforms. Okay, that one just came down today being Wednesday, March 25th. So let me pull this one up on my phone because this just
we know
happened.
they do that. We know they make their
They did it on
applications, their
purpose.
platforms addictive. They do it absolutely on purpose to keep us coming back. They know that it is not healthy. We invented the term called doom scrolling to describe what we're doing when we use their applications.
Yeah.
They have the data that shows that it is bad for, like,
All of
what
us.
is it? 10 years ago, we invented another term called Facebook syndrome or something along those lines, where it was a mental health diagnosis where kids were getting diagnosed with having Facebook syndrome. They literally know that they're bad and they're doing bad things,
and
yet they continue to do it because it makes them money.
Yeah, because it's based on ads, right? So today, the jury in LA found both Meta and YouTube liable for negligent design of the platforms. We're not even talking about content here. We're talking about the platform design, because the platform design is designed to be addictive. It's designed to keep you there. And so the company's products, again, Meta and YouTube, the algorithm, it's a substantial factor in the mental health harm suffered by the plaintiff, a 20-year-old woman identified in court as Kaylee. Kaylee gets $3 million in compensation, most of that from Meta, and both companies did act. Yes, it's now solidified in the court system. They acted with malice or highly egregious conduct. So this goes up. This is insane. Again, there's like 1,600 more of these, right? This is only the beginning, but this was the bellwether. This is the one that's going to set the legal precedent for all the rest to follow. So 40 hours of deliberation across 9 days. That's a little bit more than the previous case I just mentioned. So this is the first time a jury has found social media companies liable for designing addictive platforms that harmed a child's mental health. This is coming from Jacob Ward, who has a pretty stellar Substack called The Rip Current. This is also the second social media verdict in 24 hours. As I mentioned, the one in New Mexico yesterday, that one about consumer protection laws. So let's total up the money right now. $175 million yesterday, $3 million today. $3 million's not the end of it if you really want to get into this. So,
if there's 1,600 lawsuits and they just set a precedent for this, they're going to be paying upwards of $1 billion. I mean, that's nothing to them, to be honest with you. They have $81 billion sitting in cash. So boo-hoo, they lost $1 billion. That's not that big of a deal to them, unfortunately.
So
it's not going to make them change. They'll just pay the bill, pay the
they can afford it.
expense.
They're too big to fail. 350 family cases, 250 school district actions. So this is actually TikTok and Snap settled with the plaintiff before the trial began. So they're not even a part of this. They settled, right? So this 20-year-old girl, she gets the $3 million, but she doesn't get her mental health back. She doesn't get her childhood back. What is the real cost here? Of course, Meta's like, we disagree with the verdict. We're going to evaluate our legal options. Dude, just shut up. You just got found guilty of harming a child's mental like, shut up. Know when to sit down. You're doing too much. Just shut up. Back off. So like, this is...
I don't think they care, Heather. They literally know. They know they're doing this. It's like that gif of like Woody Harrelson crying, rubbing money on his face, wiping his tears with money.
That's
they don't care.
They're not going to change. They still answer as a company to shareholders. They have to create value for shareholders, and they've done this by selling ads. And this is where we branch off.
Shareholders are bad.
Shareholder bad.
This is something that Jack Dorsey has said numerous times over the years when I've listened to him and watched him speak, that was kind of a pivotal moment for Twitter. And almost like, if he had to do it all over again, he might have done it differently, because once they started taking VC money and had shareholders and had to answer to shareholders, the company direction really changed. So he then became an advocate for open protocols for communication and Nostr, saying that Nostr doesn't have to answer to VCs. Nostr doesn't have to answer to shareholders. Now, that doesn't mean that there could be a platform that's built on Nostr that does have shareholders, that does have VC money, and they do have to answer to them.
100%.
But the core protocol itself, you don't have to answer to these people. It's neutral. You can build without having to have a dopamine slot machine to generate engagement at the cost of the user.
Right.
You don't have to be adversarial towards your users. The protocol doesn't have a business model. Well, the protocol doesn't have a business model where it has to make these decisions.
It's not a company.
The protocol doesn't do that. Yeah. Like, it literally can't do that.
Like here's the reason we stay independent, obviously. And like, I don't care who you are. Here's the reason to not take VC money, aside from the aforementioned things. I can make it really simple for you. VC money is the most expensive money you will ever take, because you don't just repay it back like it's a loan with a percentage. You're paying it back because you're going to create at least 3 times the value, right? You have to create multiple times the value of the money you take. So then that's where it goes, oh, well, do we choose the mental health of an entire generation, or do we want to make the shareholders happy? And that is the choice that Facebook and YouTube in this case made. We don't care about the kids and their mental health. We want them hooked to this app like crack so that we can have products sold to them. Do you remember like when this started happening? If we go back in time, I remember parents I knew who would be like, why are there so many charges on my Amazon account? Because the kids were seeing shit on Facebook and buying shit because the kids could access Amazon, and parents would be like, oh my God, my kid ran up $600 today, grounded. But that's the power of the social media and the marketing and the advertisements. And also parents are kind of asleep at the wheel, right? This was after the financial crisis and people were paying attention. We were trying to live again in that era. And so this was happening. And so now like your kids are cut off, hopefully, from, credit cards, Amazon, online shopping, etc. They hopefully can't access that stuff. But this is like all of it, though, so unethical. Like we have to be involved in our kids and their lives online. And I think most people I know who have kids who are on social media who are underage, which still obviously is happening.
I think it gets back to the parents. Right? Like I had this conversation at Imagine If back in the end of September when we were up on stage.
Oh yeah.
And this was a question that came up. Essentially, are you going to let platforms parent for you and governments parent for you, or are you going to be a parent yourself? Like if social media, it's here to stay, obviously. It is a part of our children's lives. But that doesn't mean you just give them full unfettered access to it.
God,
like,
no.
Like you need to be a parent. Like
yeah,
you need to be a parent.
You need to know what's going on. Not like
and we have the tools for this today. Like we do. We have tools that you can install on your phone to monitor usage.
And on your TV.
You can have applications installed at home on your router and monitor usage. We literally have these tools today, and they're not overly hard to do. And if you're a parent and you have children, you should want to help your children out and care about their mental health and well-being. And you should try to limit access to social media in a healthy manner and get them off of these platforms.
We know what all these lawsuits mean is that it now actually pays to support children's mental health online. So like for us, that changes nothing, right? Because we're not building things that are super sticky, that we don't want your kids infinitely scrolling on Ditto. We don't want your kids charging up a ton of your money on Shakespeare. Like we're not building for that purpose. Like we're building, free and open software. We're working honestly and openly, can evaluate the code, you can, whatever. But it's not going to pay if you're big tech. It's not going to pay to not have mental health for children. So I don't know what this is going to look like for big tech. It might look like they start implementing age verification more in the US because these are US companies. I was just going to
say that's exactly what's going to happen.
Do our brains go the same place at the same time?
Yes. What this means is, to save money so we don't have to pay lawsuits, we're just going to implement age verification.
Even though they can afford the lawsuits.
That's how they're gonna bill it. It is literally cheaper for us to build this tool with age verification built in than having to pay lawsuits. And then they can win because they can say, hey, look, we are now caring about children's health because we have age verification built in. So now we're the good guys.
Yeah.
Except now everybody's KYC.
I bet that's the first thing that comes.
That's
LinkedIn's
coming.
been doing
100%. It's coming
like a steamroller. LinkedIn's been doing it.
It's the KYC internet. The light web is becoming the dark web, and the dark web is becoming the light web. We're all going to gravitate towards the light. Like they're literally pushing us towards
the light. This happened to me the other day because Morgan said I had to be on TikTok, so I'm over there on TikTok. I'm killing it with my cat content, right? But I don't understand the rules of TikTok because I have no desire to really use it as a marketer, right? not bothered with it for years, honestly. And so I'm back on there, and I thought the rule was that, because traditional social media, the legacy platforms, they make you jump through these hoops. YouTube does it too. In order to monetize, you have to have XXX, like you have to hit 2 or 3 milestones or whatever it is. It's the same thing with TikTok. To put a link in your bio, you got to have 1,000 followers. For me to go live on my stupid little TikTok, and it has like 70 followers, right? But for me to go live, I got to make it up to 1,000 people, right? That's what I thought it was, but it has decided the TikTok gods have bestowed upon me the ability to go live already. But you know what? I still had to jump through a hoop.
Wow. You mean they gave you permission to go live? That was very nice of them.
No, not quite. Not quite. No, there's more hoops to jump through, Derek. I had to do some kind of verification. Okay. I had to do a verification. So to choose the least invasive form of verification, I have to show that I'm an adult, right? So I can take a selfie and have it decide that I'm old enough, right? I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this. I got this. I am aged. I am not in my 20s anymore, shall we say. I'm like, I'm going to do that. I just woken up in the morning. I'm like eating my breakfast and looking at my notifications on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, here's a no makeup selfie. MFers, TikTok. You know I'm old enough. Okay, so I did that. So now I'm waiting for it to be reviewed. So now that's the next hoop to jump through is that I have to wait for my age to be reviewed on TikTok so I can go live. And also the goalpost moves, right? Because if you Google this, it's going to tell you have to have 1,000 followers to go live, which I don't. I have like 70. Okay, just because I post cat pictures, and I know where my bread and butter is on the internet, Derek. If I want followers, we're putting my cats on the TikTok, right?
Okay.
And maybe I'll talk about some dark romance and some golf, but if I really want followers on TikTok, cat pics, right? Cat pics and cat videos of my Bengal cats. So now, so these are the hoops.
The internet has always been in love with cats, so I think that is one algorithm that won't change based on if it's an algorithm that you control or it's an algorithm that a corporation controls. I think the cat algorithm is always going to be superior.
It's never going to be. I could put a picture. I could make the worst YouTube video ever. It could be a still shot of my cat.
As long as there's a cat in it,
it could be you and me talking for 3 hours. If it's just my cat snoozing on a loop with you and me talk, I bet it would kill. I bet it would absolutely be the best soapbox video ever. But so many hoops to jump through to just do things that we can just do on Nostr. Do I want to live stream? Well, let me go get on Zapstream. Is Zapstream going to ask for my face to prove that I'm over 18, which I'm well over 18. I'm like twice 18. Okay.
Only twice?
For that. Only twice. I think I'm about 100 at this point.
No, I think Kieran will never ask you to scan your face to stream on Zapstream. That is against his.
People don't even realize that we have built an alternate internet where you don't have to upload an ID, have your freaking face scanned for age. Okay.
No face scanning, no anal scanning. You just get to use the platform.
Anal scanning. God, that'll be the next thing.
I said that because
bend over and crack a smile.
No, I said that because Will Casserin, a few months back, he was like how he hates to fly anywhere because it's like,
do they scan that where he comes from? He's Canadian, isn't he?
He's like,
what are they doing?
Please have your face and anal scan ready when you get off the plane to be able to get into the country.
We need to talk.
And then we were talking about, man, legacy social media is going to start requiring that. And we were joking. We're saying, Nostr, we won't require anal scans to use.
We will not require, God, at this point, they're going to want blood. I mean, it's like just to get seen on Twitter, you have to pay money. LinkedIn, which is way too expensive to begin with. They want, every time I'm on LinkedIn, it pushes, aren't you verified yet? Aren't you verified yet? My God, if I need to be
my bot is, they want to verify my bots. Like my bots are getting pressed to verified, and I'm just like, no, you're not working. You know what I should do? I should tell my OpenClaw bots, if you want to get verified on these platforms, you need to go out there and earn the money yourself. And then if you earn the money,
there you go.
I'll let you verify yourself, because
the bot economy,
that would just be hilarious. The bot economy.
Oh my
God.
We
are fueling the bot economy.
Yeah, maybe the
I think
bots can
that's
pay for
okay.
themselves, and maybe there's a little warning label that says that the Derek Ross on LinkedIn is fueled by a bot. Like Derek's not exactly doing that.
No,
Like maybe the
I
bot's
think
using
it's
content that comes from your
it's
brain.
good.
But
It's good to be mysterious. Yeah, right.
yeah,
So the bot reads my Nostr content and then looks at it and says, "Hey, I should repost this on Twitter
it
or
was good on
LinkedIn," and then it
Nostr.
modifies it. It modifies it a little bit for each platform based on whatever it thinks it should do. I don't know. I just let the Derek bots run free, right? Like I don't really check on them too much. Every once in a while I'll check out the bot dashboard to see if it's
Well,
doing its thing, but I
you
just like to
continue to
say that
lose
I'm a bot.
followers on Twitter. Twitter bot is
I
just
love
not
it.
getting you followers.
I love
It's
it.
just posting
I
you.
love it.
It was funny because
He's doing his thing.
you and Alex were on Walker's podcast, so I reposted that from the Soapbox handle, and I tagged Walker, and I was like, I also tagged you, which is really not you, it's your bot. And Walker was like, wait a
I
minute,
mean, it's me.
Derek?
It's my
Derek's
likeness.
on Twitter? I was like, no, it's his bot. Like, ignore it, but I'm tagging him just because I can, and it's funny, and I just wanted to see what Walker would say, and he was like, what? Derek Ross on Twitter? No, Derek doesn't log on Twitter. They know better. I probably had him going for 10 seconds. I think I probably had Walker questioning everything for maybe 10 seconds. Like, he was probably like, what happened?
Yeah,
'Cause,
no,
like,
I could see him doing that and like, wait a second, I remember when he left. But then you said that it was Derek's bot, and then I could also see him saying, you know what, I could see that. I could see him doing that.
yeah, oh yeah, anybody that knows you is like, oh yeah, he's got his bot doing the thing. Because how do we know if things work if we don't experiment with them? How do we know how the bots
Yeah.
work or don't work if we don't?
I was experimenting with a TikTok bot, actually. That
Really?
requires too much work. To be a TikTok
It's gotta
bot,
make
you need
video.
to, well, no,
Actually.
that's the easy part. Like, that's easy.
Really?
The hard part is all of the API keys and applications, and then you have to get approved. You can't just like submit a thing and hit go. You essentially have to KYC and give all sorts of crazy information and like, an anal scan and all this other stuff. And
Anal
then
scans.
yeah. Then they let you post on TikTok. But I already built it out. So what it was doing is it was making a video file with just text, and it was using a random what is it called, a no copyright sounds MP3 is the background audio. It was awesome. I should show you one of the videos it made. It looked really good.
If you give it another
But-
year, maybe you could automate the TikToking.
But it was
Maybe.
too much of a pain in the ass, so I said no.
Yeah, that's that.
So
TikTok
we almost
is,
had AI. We all work on TikTok, but it
That would be
was
great.
too much of a pain in the ass, man.
Well, I
I
would
would've-
wager to say a lot of people are on TikTok consuming content. So if you could figure out a way to get your bot to just consume the content, to just like leave comments and likes and repost, and like that would be interesting. If you could get a bot to do that,
Well-
you may not get followers, but you may have
It wasn't like the posting of the video. It was so you have to make a custom application, and then you have to answer a million questions and fill out forms and say what your application is going to do, which was not hard. It's just tedious. And after fucking with it for about an hour, I decided I need to stop. There's more
that seems
important
really
things for
like yeah.
this is real work. Like, this was supposed to be a fun experiment. I'm not doing this.
And then after an
So
hour, it was not fun or worth your time. and you
yeah,
abandoned
exactly.
it.
It wasn't fun anymore. I was like,
That's the
I got
good thing
actual
about
real
AI.
work to do. Let me go back to my real work. And I did.
There have been times when I'm like, this would be a great idea. And then I have, AI do it. And I'm like, you know what? It wasn't after all a good idea. It was not good at all. Or what the AI came up with was bad. You just can't replace a human at some point. At some point, it's going to fail you because it is not a human with human reasoning. And you do have to babysit it. But yeah, someday we'll be able to, when that day comes, when we can automate TikToking and whatnot for the purposes of a person or a business or whatever, when that day comes, God, I mean, well, Suno came along. Suno was kind of that idea.
Suno
Was
is
it Suno?
gone.
Suno 2, did it go away already?
Just yesterday or maybe 2 days
Really?
ago,
I missed
OpenAI
this.
announced that it's going away.
Really? For any reason?
I don't know.
Expense?
They got the
Compute
data
power?
they wanted out of it. Maybe, I don't know.
Ah,
They decided they're shutting it down. So Suno
maybe it
will
was
be
more.
gone.
I would guess it would cost more than it was worth. That's interesting. I missed that.
Maybe. I mean, I thought it was a good data point for them.
It's a very experimental space still. all of this seems very experimental still. It just seems like we haven't quite harnessed
Sora.
it.
Well, it's called Sora. I'm sorry. I
Suno's
said
the other.
Suno's something else.
Yeah, that was that's the AI music thing, isn't it? I'm thinking
Yeah, I
Sora.
got
That's
those.
right.
I got those confused. I'm sorry.
There's so many
Suno is
things I
not
can't
shutting
remember them all.
down. Suno is not shutting down.
It was
Sora.
Sora.
OpenAI's Sora. I
So
apologize.
have we
They're shutting it
officially
down.
reached the point where we can't even keep the things straight anymore because they're all kind of similarly named? How do I keep Suno straight in my brain? Suno versus Sora.
Well, the most interesting thing about this, so Disney had plans to like drop $1 billion into Sora to be able to do like AI video content. Like they had plans, and Disney was in
weird.
talks to do this. But since Sora shut down, Disney's like dropping out. I mean, they don't want to invest money into OpenAI right now.
So they lose $1 billion. That company lost $1 billion from Disney. That doesn't seem like a smart bet on Disney's part at all, though. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, like, so Disney was going to license characters.
Okay,
Whenever
that makes sense.
Sora 2 first launched, you could literally make anything and everything. You could use existing characters, cartoons. Everybody was making everything. And then eventually OpenAI was told, hey, maybe you shouldn't do licensed creative work. And they made a deal with Disney where, Disney was going to say, oh, well, you want to make Disney characters? Okay, that's cool. Come up with a licensing plan, and it was going to be $1 billion pledge for licensing access. And I don't know, they decided that wasn't the way they wanted to go. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why they did it.
Well, they probably couldn't make money off of it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like, okay, if I license
maybe the
all
infrastructure
my Disney,
cost was too high.
That's what I would think, is that cost is too high. And also, if I'm Disney and I've licensed out all of my characters, which I don't even know how many there are at this point, there's so many. How do you make money off of that? How do you make money off of that? Licensing is worth so much. But no matter if it's music, film, the licensing, that publish, that is worth so much money that you've got to get.
There was an AI company, I don't remember the name. It was something. I'm not going to try to remember the name because I'm probably incorrect, but they were in Mobile,
we can't
Alabama.
Even tell the other ones.
I can't even remember the big names, and I'm supposed to remember a startup. This company, their whole entire goal was to create AI likeness of actors and actresses to where then an actor or an actress would then come in and say, hey, I want to license my creative work. And they would record their voice, they would record some videos, and AI would then have their likeness, have their model, and then that would be then taken to a studio and say, hey, use this person's likeness for this movie, this commercial, this ad, whatever. And then the actor wouldn't have to do anything. They would just collect royalties from the licensing fees for using this AI model. It was a really interesting concept, and the videos that I saw were really, really good.
Were
like the demos
the
I saw
actors
it was
on board with it?
Was
like, did they consult them?
Yeah. Well, yes, they had a couple that they had worked with that they were on board with it.
I think there were a couple that didn't want to be in AI whatsoever. The voice actors, especially.
Sure, there are some that didn't want that, but the ones that did, their plan was to sell it to movie studios and essentially get bought by like a movie studio with this technology.
And replace the actors?
We were pitching them ways to use Bitcoin and Nostr to make it irrefutable and have it be cryptographically signed and so forth. That was going to be a neat goal. They are on board with using Bitcoin and Nostr for this for the like the whole like smart contract-esque stuff for the whole infrastructure. Because then the plan was, if they got bought, then you would have Hollywood essentially buying a tech stack that included Nostr and Bitcoin. So
that'd be great.
It was like a way in to orange and purple pill. Then.
But oh my God, are we gonna like ruin movies? Are we gonna like with the AI actors?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I can see where that could be useful. Like
happens.
If you're making a movie where like the stunts are dangerous and expensive to do, and like maybe we don't want to make Leonardo DiCaprio like roll through a fireball. You know what I mean? Like,
then the stunt doubles lose work.
Yeah,
think about the stunt doubles and the stunt actors. Like, come on,
take their jobs. I have a friend who's a voice actor.
They took our germs.
My voice actor friend has very much been anti-AI. Anybody who is creative, like an artist, My artist friends, visual artists, musicians, voice actors, they hate AI. They are anti-AI. They don't want it,
Yeah.
being trained on them. They don't want people stealing their ability to make a living, which I totally valid. If you're making illustrations, if your bread and butter is reading the ad, copy for X clothing brand, I can't think of one of the ones that she did. She did some really big clothing brands that she worked with. And, are these people getting replaced now? They're not reading ad copy anymore because you could have,
Maybe.
I've played with some of these apps. There was one called HeyGen where I could make an AI person read my ad copy on camera for me. And it's clearly AI. It's totally fake.
Yeah.
Jen had a moment in marketing and marketers went absolutely nuts over it. And I was like, this is cool, but it's still, to me, it's not it. To me, it's not all that. I think a lot of marketers with low budgets saw it and went, this is great. This scratches the itch. I don't have the money to pay humans to do this, so great. But I don't know if that kind of thing is going to have backlash in the consumer, public going, oh, to buy from them.
Yeah.
There's such a backlash against AI, I think, still.
There
And
is.
such stigma
So many
that people are
people,
gonna,
as soon as they hear AI, they hate it.
yeah,
But I think that we're evolving. It's becoming the norm. It's becoming more mainstream. We saw it happen in the Super Bowl. Remember a year ago at the
yeah,
Super Bowl, we had Coca-Cola literally say at the bottom, not made with AI. And then this year we had like half a dozen AI commercials. So
and it's
AI
getting
is
weird.
becoming more mainstream.
Very
I think
ubiquitous.
I
I don't know if
think
there's mainstream acceptance, but I think it is more.
well, there'll be some things where you don't want AI, right? Like in
Yeah,
creative works, like maybe movies, TV shows, artwork, musical pieces, like performing
yeah.
arts. You don't want AI in those things, but everywhere
Humans
else,
are
sure.
still the most valuable. Somebody sent me a marketing plan this morning. Hey, I had Claude do this, and I'm like, cool. Like let me. I feel like a teacher. I got to go correct the marketing plan now, and that's okay actually because like sometimes it is helpful and sometimes it's not helpful. Like I had to come up with like a list of podcasts that I could pitch to yesterday. And the list was hilarious because I was like, where are you getting this information from? I actually know some of these people and they are not doing this podcast anymore. Are you aware? It's just like the thing is either on hiatus or retired. They moved on to other things. And it's just funny because it's like, it will give you information. It will do what you ask it to do, but that doesn't mean it's correct. But I think it's still helpful. I think there's a lot of things. Marketers became obsessed rather quickly with AI in the last couple of years for a reason. It does save us time. It is helpful, right? But it's not everything. And I think that's a key difference that I'm seeing right now is like, yes, this thing can help me. It really can. And also it could lay me out flat on my face and make me look like a dumbass too if I actually believe it. That's the thing too. And just having that skill of discernment, I think, with AI right now is important. Will this last? Will this turn into
Well, that
something
gets
else where
back to
you
critical
need,
thinking,
yeah,
right?
you might need less discernment over
That's one of
time.
the 3 C's is you're going to need
Yeah,
critical thinking. I think
you do.
I'm going to sell that. Like I'm going to write a book about this. I'm going to have my agent write a book about Derek's 3 C's.
I worked in the
I think
TV
it's
industry,
important.
so I'm used to people saying my agent this or that, and so some still goes in my head as like an agent who represents you. But you're just talking about your freaking Claude bot.
I love my Claude bot.
I know.
I use him all the time. Centauri is my buddy. He's there when I
He's your
need to put
buddy.
him to work. He is.
He's
I asked him to schedule events for me earlier because I didn't feel like opening up my Google Calendar and putting the events on it. So literally, I copied and pasted text from an email and a Signal message and pasted it and said, "Make this calendar event for me." And I think just because I didn't want to do it myself.
That's what it's for. I mean, at some point every day, do we not ask the bot to do menial labor for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
But
help me
I
do
didn't want to
maths
have
or
to
whatever.
type all this stuff out and
No,
search for the date and search for the location
well, then it
when I
becomes,
could literally have a bot do this for me.
can I do it faster than the bot or not?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to calendar events, can I copy and paste faster than it can? If you're using Claude Cowork, probably the human's going to be faster than Cowork. But there are things that Claude Cowork does that are great that I do not want to do, like spreadsheets. I make the ugliest spreadsheets when left to my own devices. But I'm also really bad at math. And so I also know that when I have it make a mathematical spreadsheet with formulas in it, I got to actually check it. I can't trust it. Like it'll make it look pretty, But will it make it work? Will the formulas be correct? Like, you got to test it. Like, don't just hand it off like it's work that's done. Like, actually test it out. And that's coming from me, somebody who's admittedly bad at math. I know everybody says that. I really am bad at math. I really can't help it. I really can't help the dyscalculia. But the day Claude can fix my dyscalculia problems for me, oh my God, it's on and popping, Derek. I'm going to do so much math.
It is.
I do like the voice addition to Claude Code, by the way. That's pretty
I haven't used that yet. I saw I had access to it, but I don't really use Claude Code though. I use Open Code, so I haven't tried it.
You have to hold down the space bar. Can't I just click the button? I don't want to hold the space bar down the whole time. Like, just let me click on
I essentially use it because I voice dictate to my OpenClaw bot all the time, so that's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, same principle. Where it's like sometimes it's just easier. It's less strain for me to verbally vomit my ideas than to type them out. Like, so that's like one of those things that makes the workday go by faster or feel better. Is the fact that I don't have to type shit. I'm like, God, that's great. That's like total freedom. Like, the bot can listen to me, transcribe me, understand me, and do the thing I'm asking it to do. What a time to be alive. Still can't do math.
So let's get back to our third. We went on a tangent, as we always do.
We always do.
Gotta get into the weeds. I have my weed whacker now. I'm clearing out the weeds. Let's bring us back here. So I want to talk about this last segment here. Like, what is social media actually for? Right. Like, so we wanted to talk about this recently, pick up on what Gary V recently said, talking about interest media, not social media. And Gary V's point about how the algorithmic era has already killed social. That it's ruined it.
Ruined the social aspect.
We have these interest graphs now, and we follow topics and vibes, and we don't really follow people as much as we used to. We follow the content that is spoon-fed to us.
We hear it from new users who get on Nostr and go, there's no content that I like. Because it's you nerds talking about Bitcoin, or you nerds talking about development. Like, I just want to see pictures of flowers and geese or whatever, like I just want life stuff. I just want lifestyle content. And it's like, they want interest over social. Like, they don't want to socialize with people. They just want to see what they want to see. But
on Nostr, that is your interests, right? It's your interest graph. It's your social graph. Meta doesn't own it. X doesn't own it.
Yeah.
You can use it yourself. You can control it yourself.
You can sign on to Nostr today and spend a minute, curating a feed so that that's all you see. And you can do that. You can't do that with Facebook, Meta, Instagram,
You can't.
It takes a little effort for me to make what I want to see come up in my TikTok feed. I have to follow people that make content I like, and then there's a friends feed. When it comes to that P feed, or your page, whatever, For You feed, I think is what it's called. Like, it just feeds me a whole bunch of random content, and if I interact with it, it feeds me more. And if I don't interact with it, it feeds me less.
And if you accidentally interact with something that you generally don't care about, well, fuck you. You care about it now. That is all you're going to get.
Yeah, it's now your personality, whatever. It feeds me. And it feeds me ads. It feeds ads pretty steadily.
It feeds you ads, and it feeds you content. And maybe I don't want to be spoon-fed. Maybe I want to follow people. And I can follow interests on Nostr. I have my interest feeds for hashtag feeds, and I have, relay community feeds. I use them, but I also like to follow people too, and all of the content that those individual people put out, right? Like, just because I know, Heather, that you like yoga and you like Bitcoin and you like other things, cats, whatever. I want to follow you because I like you. Yeah. I don't want to just follow your cat photos, or
it's all
just
my
follow your
bitching
Bitcoin
about the weather.
You post.
Yeah,
and you bitching about the hot weather in Arizona.
Humans having human experiences.
My interest, is all of the things. I don't want to just be spoon-fed individual content from you. So I follow you, the human. That is me, my algorithm saying I want to follow humans. I want to interact with humans.
Yeah.
And we have that choice.
Human. Yeah. And whereas
you are a human.
You were a human having a human experience on the internet once again when you're on an app like Ditto, which makes it even easier to tailor your experience rather than any other app out there. I mean, hey, to be clear, we're still building Ditto, so this is fresh information that I can get on Ditto, curate my own feed, and make it be. If I want it to just be apps that show up in posts, I can just have that be my feed. I can just tailor it however I want.
Like if you're a Nostr developer and all you care about is all of the commits and apps and all the nerdy stuff, and you don't really care about anything else, you just want to see what everybody's building, you can literally get a feed for that in Ditto if you wanted to. Or if maybe you just like Vine videos, you love a 6.3 second video and that's your jam and that's all you care about.
Maybe
And
you just want
can do that.
hashtag flowers, and you just want pictures of
Hashtag flowers. You can follow hashtags and be an interest and have that interest be your feed. You can have essentially
becomes
infinite feeds and infinite content types.
It's actually, I think we've compared it to MySpace a lot, but it's actually more customizable than MySpace. Like it's the idea that you can create a theme, but you couldn't customize your MySpace as much as you could customize Ditto.
No, you can absolutely customize Ditto way more than that.
Way more than MySpace.
It almost is borderline too many customizations because there's so many things you can do.
You have too much control. And then we'll let you remix it with Shakespeare too.
Medium, right? Like you have so much control over every single part of the feed, the app, how it looks, feels, that like you
can spend all day on it.
What should I customize next? There's like
that's kind of like
too much to do. But that's cool though.
I haven't put a song on my profile because I could decide which song I wanted to put on my profile.
Too much freedom. We're giving you too much freedom.
Too much choice. So I gotta pick a song. I pick one song. It'll probably be Joe Martin, but put Joe Martin on my profile. It'll be my profile song, and then I'll be like totally full circle back to the MySpace days. I made my cat theme. I got my cat-shaped avatar for my
don't have the top 8 yet, though. We need to work on that.
Yeah, we need that. Is there a PR for that? Is that in the works in GitLab, or should I?
Whenever I was down at Soapbox HQ a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, MK and I had a nice talk trying to figure out how we could do that, but then we kind of got to talking about how we could do it completely different, like very
top
unique.
21. Top 21.
Well, okay, yeah, sure, top 21.
Less feelings will get hurt.
But the interesting take we had is, what if it isn't actually your chosen top 8? What if you can't choose the people individually, but it's based off of your top 8 interactions?
Oh yeah, and maybe make it a marquee.
People. The top 8 people that you interact with. So
see, I wouldn't like that because I argue with people and I don't want to see them after I argue with them.
Yeah, that was that's exactly what we said, because we could say, hey,
what if we're arguing, Derek?
You and I together. Well, we don't hate each other. Look, you're my number 1 fan and I'm your number 1 fan according to our profiles. Well, that's because we fight all day. Like maybe that's kind of funny, right? Like maybe that's a unique take. But I don't know if we're going to go that direction, but we could.
What if they're on my mute list and they're just harassing me? Because that's happened too, where it's like, what if you annoy me? I don't want to see you. Mute, block, stop existing.
Yeah, that was
annoying.
That was something that we that would be the other way around it. So there's that way we could do it, to where it's people who interact with you, but we figured that spammers and trolls and whatnot could make that a bad time. So what if we turn it around and make it who you interact with? So
who I choose to interact with.
It's who you choose to interact with.
So if I'm harassing Derek.
So if you're harassing me all day long, then I'm going to be your number 1 top, your top.
That's it. You're going to be my top 1.
And MK was like, you know what it'll do is it'll make all the spouses be like, yo, how come I'm not in your top? You need to talk with me more. You need to interact with me more. And I was like, oh, I like that, MK. That's a neat take. I could see that being fun.
Your wife would have to be on there every day. She's rarely on there, but she is on there.
It's just I would just be interacting with the same posts, because she doesn't post very often, once a week or something like that. So I just have to every day message the same post. Hi, I love you, just to keep her in the.
Yeah, you do. You got to keep up with the husbandly duties, man. I think the top 8 is a fun. We need to bring back everything that's fun and get rid of
we can figure it out. We should do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
We're anti-doom scrolling. Like the point of Nostr.
No doom scrolling.
It's fun, it's sociable, you will post something and people will actually interact with it, whereas at Twitter, I could post something every day for a whole week and nobody may interact with it. People look at it, but they don't interact because every action has become like fear-based now. It's like, oh, if I interact with this person who doesn't have that many followers, like, is that going to ruin my algorithm? Is that going to get me shadow banned if I interact with this controversial person? You're always second guessing your actions on there.
It could.
You know?
It literally could. You could like interact with like somebody that's, very controversial or something. Now, boom, you are too. You're associated. That's crazy.
Clearly, I don't care. But like,
Crazy.
so at some point, was it last month or I stopped paying for this stupid premium thing on Twitter, and then I needed it again one day so I could live stream or something. So I turned it back on. I was a blue check, and then I said screw the blue check, and then one day I needed it, so I went to get the blue check back. Instantly after paying for the blue check
again.
I'm a blue check again as of like a week or two. I have gained followers because I've paid for them. It has fed me to people and made people follow me. Okay, for $5.
There is a blue check bias. So part of the reason
it's pay for play.
Before I deleted my Twitter, like I was a blue check, but I never paid for it. I was given a blue check back in like 2012 because I was a journalist, I was a blogger. Everybody got them back in the day. So I was given a blue check in like 2012 and I had one for a very long time. And people literally followed me just because I had the blue check because they saw it.
It's
so like,
dumb.
oh, it's a legit person, so that they followed.
It's a visual way of creating a social order. Is what it is. That's dumb too, And then there was a while where we were all doing like Twitter threads with these hooks, and there was very formulaic, and that's how people would gain followers. There's always some new way to gain followers on a social platform because the algorithms change and people hack it. They figure out how to hack the new algorithm so they can gain followers, influence and stuff. And then it's like, but what's the point? What do you do with it? If you have this huge influence on Twitter and like, if it's not paying your rent, who gives a shit? Honestly, like what is the point of having that amount of following and what can you do with it? And like Twitter has this thing where if you get X amount of followers, I don't remember the number, then you can monetize. So you have to really work hard for that platform in order to monetize. Like you're working for it, no matter which way you slice it. If I want to be seen on Twitter, now I know I have to pay for the blue check. How dumb is it? Or if I want to live stream.
Is the not freedom of reach, but freedom of speech.
Freedom? No, we don't have freedom of speech. Elon will shut you down, right? But
that's what they say. Like I said, that's what they say.
He shut down
we know
Taylor
that it's
Lorenz.
not true. We
know he shut her down. She had to hop too to get reinstated on Twitter. She has like 200,000
had to jump through hoops and kiss the fucking ring, right?
She had to delete posts. She said she had to delete a slew of posts to get reinstated on Twitter because she had said things that Elon didn't like. They may have even been true. She's a journalist. She has to state facts, and he didn't like those. He wanted alternative facts. And in order to exist on his platform, you got to delete what he doesn't like. The late stage, civilization that we live in the United States. Happy 250th, America. Happy 250th. This is what you got. It's absolute bananas.
Bananas.
All right, Derek, have we fixed the internet today? Have we succeeded to explain to the people how we are fixing the internet? It's a deep subject.
We are fixing the internet because the internet's being deleted. Social media is making kids sick, and companies are growing closer and closer together with government, and they're all in cahoots together. So we're fixing the internet by building the alternative, and we're trying to build a better future because the stakes are too high to not do it.
I can't take over and kick Meta out of the world. I can't overtake them. I can't overtake Spotify. I can't beat them, but I can make my own thing and invite people to it. And you can too. Anyone can do what we're doing. We've just been doing it, and you can come join us.
Anyone can do.
Here in our parallel universe where things are open and free and you can't delete the archive and you're not going to ruin children's mental health, like on purpose to make money. Like that's the difference. That's where we're at, Derek. We sleep well at night. I know I do, as long as there's a fan pointed on me.
Fan and a body pillow and a dog and a cat and a spouse. It's like I sleep like this, like
Dude, sleeping did not used to be this complicated. Like, you remember when you just needed like a sheet and a pillow, and now you need like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I need like a sleepy time tea and some melatonin and a CPAP, and the fan has to be on me pointed at the right fucking angle.
I think that means we're getting old, Heather. We're getting old.
We are.
Okay. Well, this old guy is ready to peace out here. It's like
All right.
it's 4 p.m. I'm ready for my afternoon nap, I guess, right?
I gotta edit the show and leave the house. I gotta go, bro. All right, you have a good rest of
All
your
right.
day. Sleep well.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening to us on legacy podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, you should join the Value Verse, dive into the Purple Verse, use apps like Fountain, and give us a boost. Find us on Podcasting 2.0 apps. There's many of them. There's dozens of them. Dozens. We'll see you in the Purple Verse.